Lately, I have been on a mission to try every fighting game I can get my hands on, especially if it's free. And just yesterday, out of nowhere, a free demo dropped for a game I have been hearing whispers about. What a game, you ask? Hunter x Hunter, Nen Impact. Of course, I had to try it. Hunter x Hunter holds a special place in my heart, not just because every kid around here grew up watching the old version on TV, but also because of a personal record I set while watching the 2011 version. I finished all of Hunter x Hunter 2011 in just 3 days. Yeah, I was kind of reckless back then, using anime as an escape tool. Being like that was my perfect recipe. My personal high 56 episode in one day. My favorite arc, Greed Island. The worst, Chimera Ant. Peak anticlimax in my opinion. But to be fair, Nin is still the best power system in all fiction. Back then, I was so fascinated by it that I actually started to believe it could exist in real life. It's a shame the show never utilized its full potential, but maybe the game can do something with it. First impression. The moment I launched the game, I noticed something big. No online mode in this demo, so your only option are find a real life friend to play with or fight the CPU, which I hate doing the most. So I went into the training room and came to a wild realization. There is a rule in gaming. When you watch a gameplay trailer, you expect the actual game to look even better when you are holding the controller. Trailers are compressed, right? Encoding process always ruins the quality. The raw game should shine. But in this case, it looks exactly the same. I guess being spoiled by ArcSys quality visual really changed how you see 3D anime styles games. Anyway, let's talk gameplay. Button layout struggle. First thing I always do is customize the controls to what I'm used to. That way I don't have to retrain my brain to connect the move I want with the button I'm pressing. But then I ran into something I never expected. The dodge macro. My most important button is usually set to RT. In this game, you dodge by pressing any 2 attacks button. So to use RT for dodging, I had to assign 2 attacks button to it. Here is where it got messy. Those 2 buttons are usually grabs. So if you dodge too close to your opponent using RT, you will accidentally grab them. Double tapping forward seemed safer, especially since you have to time pressing on RT if you want to get multiple dodges without getting a random attacks by accident. But then, even double tapping forward results in a grab. Why? Here I realized I can't back grab on this game. Then I noticed that forward plus heavy attack is also a grab. Again, why? What is the strategy behind giving the grab 3 different inputs? Nothing tilts me more in game than when my brain keeps fighting the controls. And I could feel that while starting, blocking or attacking. I assigned the Nen special button to LT, since that's what I use for FD in Guilty Gear Strive. It made sense, both are strong defensive tools, but later I realized even the block button had an attack function tied to it. Seriously, why? My head started hurt from those random input combinations. But maybe, just maybe, there is a reason for all of it. Special move input problems. Next, I start checking out each character's special moves. First thing I notice, no motion input. Yeah, a fighting game without quarter circles, DP or charged motion. I have heard of games like this before, but never actually played one. At first I thought this would make the game easier to pick up, but instead my brain struggled hard. See, I usually understand moves through their input. Quarter circle forward must be a fireball, great for zoning. Z motion, that's a DP, great anti-air and amazing wake up option. Half circle back, often a command grab or tricky move. There is a logic behind motion input. They tell you the type of move you are about to use. Any move go with the flow of their responded button. So a motion input plus a kick will have a result of a kick special move, and so on. Without them, it feels like every move is just a button press, and that's make it way harder to remember or understand their purpose. You may think that this will just be a memorizing problem, but no. I have tried Fatal Fury demo, and that game has that problem for me. But this is much worse. This is not the same. You see, humans always strive for any kind of shortcut, and this is sometimes will lead us to miss the whole point of the journey. The best example I can give is something I faced when I tried to learn Japanese before, a language with a completely different written system than anything I have grown up studying before. A language analogy. At first I thought kanji was pointless. I figured hiragana could replace everything. Why hold into outdated stuff? But then I realized how wrong I was. Hiragana is easy to learn, sure, but it can't stand alone. It has a lot of problems that the kanji cover, and those problems you will not see until you try to understand the system itself. Just as an example, Japanese doesn't use space between words, and without kanji, reading full sentence become a nightmare. You can't even tell where one word ends and another begins. You'll be lost on the voice of an infinite sentence. That's how it felt here. Removing motion input stripped away the structure I relied on to build a combo. Just like language, combo need a flow, an order based on type. But if every move is just a noun with no verb, no adjective, no structure or grammar, you can't speak. you can't combo. And here I am struggling to combo. What I said until now was all my own thought and feeling. But maybe for someone picking up this game as their first fighting game, things would look completely different. Maybe they had see clarity where I see confusion, freedom where you see chaos. So I tried. I tried to ignore everything I have learned before. I tried to let go of my past experience, of my habit, of my biases. I told myself, play it like it's your first game ever. Instead of motion input, this game uses a single special move button. And what it does change depend on the direction you are holding, except for Gon. He has something different. He activates his RPS stance, just like in the original show. Rook is a punch, scissor is a slash, paper is a fireball. For once, something made sense. It clicked. But with every other character, you have a bunch of special moves tied to that one button. And what each move does or when to use them, you have got to figure that out yourself. Here I had before, the one where I thought making a combo is hard without motion input, it disappeared. Turns out, in this game, almost everything cancels into everything. I had press random stuff or even misclick, and the combo will still continue. People online have already discovered a full touch of that combo. The game is that open. So I spent over an hour in the training room. I dug deep. I experimented. I tested what I could. But my opinion didn't really change. Landing combo in this game feels different. There is always the possibility that it could have been longer, more optimal, flashier. And that possibility, it kind of ruined the satisfaction of landing anything. Still, lobbing was fun. But eventually, I had to face reality. It was time to play an actual match. No online mode in demo. No friend around to play with. So I had only one option. I challenged the level 5 CPU, and they got absolutely destroyed. I didn't even win a single match. I could barely take down one character. I felt like fighting a machine designed to humiliate me. The CPU dealt insane damage in a tiny amount of time. I was losing over and over again without having any fun. Actually, scratch that. I wasn't even able to look at the screen properly. I had no idea what I was supposed to be focusing. I didn't know if I was getting hit high or low, from the left or right. I didn't know where the safe spots were, or if they even exist. And the opponent moves, they look punishable, but they weren't. Everything was minus, yet somehow still plus. The combo I struggled with earlier, that was just the tip of the iceberg. The real problem was something deeper. I couldn't connect with the game. I couldn't sync with it. Nothing I tried worked. Even the assist ultimate button was still a mystery to me, hidden behind input I didn't understand. Man, it's been a long time since I felt this lost with a video game. I genuinely felt like maybe this game isn't for me. I couldn't see myself buying it. I couldn't see myself enjoying it. Struggling against the level 5 CPU made me realize that even if it was a human opponent, I'm not sure I had enjoyed it either. And that stink, because I really wanted to. But hey, if you are excited about this game, go for it. Don't let my words stop you from enjoying something you love. As for me, I have lived my life believing that for every subject, there is one objective truth, whether we know it or not. But this game is the first one that made me stop even trying to find that answer. In fact, playing it made me realize how much cooler Guilty Gear Strive really is. The way it looks, the way it plays. The way everything feels when you are pressing buttons. In the end, if you enjoy 3v3 tag fighting game or grew up playing VC titles, maybe this will be right for you. And I hate ending on a sad note. So instead of making my goal beating a level 5 CPU, I will change it to something else. I will land a touch of that combo in the training room. At least that way I can still play the game and have fun. Watch me land one right now. As the name implies, a touch of death is one of the scariest things you can face in a fighting game. Just one hit is all it takes, and from that moment on, your fate is sealed. The combo begins, and it doesn't end until your health bar is gone. No second chances, no breaks. Just sit there and start questioning the meaning of life, because you are already dead. I have never landed one before, not in any fighting game at least. So this was my chance to finally experience something that deadly, something that iconic. And I thought it would be easy. People online had already discovered tons of touch of death combo. All I had to do was pick one and repeat it until I nailed it. The first one I found was Killua combo, but to be honest, I had no idea what was actually happening in the animation. This game is hard to read visually. It's just a blur of effect and movement that don't always make sense. So I come up with a plan. In the left corner, there is an input history display. If I could just match each move with the right timing and input, I could reverse engineer the whole thing. I watched it over and over. Then I wrote down the entire combo recipe. I noticed something strange. The combo uses jump cancel, but not in the usual way. I decided to worry about that part later. First, I needed to get the basic basic down. I set a timer and jumped in. First mistakes. I decided to use a keyboard instead of a controller. Since this game is very directional focused, I figured the keyboard might give me better precision. But there was a problem. I have never used a keyboard for a fighting game before, so I had to come up with a beginner-friendly layout. The standard one didn't work for me. I wanted every finger on my right hand to control a specific button, so my brain wouldn't have to fight to remember where the things were. Here is what I built. Right arrow, thumb, light punch. Number 4, index finger, medium attack. 8, 9 plus, middle, ring, and pinky fingers. 8 is for heavy attack. 9 is for Nen. Plus is special mode. 7 and down arrow, assist button, controlled by index and thumb again. Weird maybe, but it made sense for me. And as I predicted, switching peripherals meant I had to relearn everything from scratch. I wasn't just practicing a combo, I was training my entire muscle memory. I start trying. 10 minutes in, nothing. 20 minutes, still nothing. 30 minutes, I was stuck on the first part. I didn't even know how the Roman cancel mechanics work. Turns out it's a button combination, Nen plus light punch. But still, it cancels all the momentum. Not the same as the RC from GGST. At nearly 50 minutes, I gave up. My confidence crumbled as if I had it before. I felt hopeless. So I started playing around with the jump cancel thing, and then I understand everything. Special moves are cancelable. If you press the jump with the special move before you leave the ground, you can cancel the special move and repeat it. You can do this up to 3 times. That's when it hit me. You can loop some moves if you are fast enough. And right then I realized how dumb I was for trying to mimic a combo I didn't understand. It's like watching a digital art time lapse and trying to recreate it frame by frame with no idea what the brushes, layer or tools were used. Spoilers, you can't do it like that. Not without mastering the fundamentals. So I made a decision. Forget Kiryu. I switched to one of the most hated characters in Hunter x Hunter, Leorio. Not because I like him, but because I heard he is easy to combo with. I started experimenting and right away I noticed something. Every combo in this game is tied to a blue gauge. As long as it's active, you can keep linking moves together, but sometimes it's better to end early because of damage scaling. The more you add, the less it hurt. I took everything I learned, the jump cancel attack, the gauge timing, the input logic, and spent over 3 hours adjusting combo, failing and failing, learning how the mechanics works, testing the limits of what I could do, and in the end, I create my own touch of that combo. Watch this. Yes, that felt amazing. After 5 hours of total loving, I finally landed a touch of that combo. And honestly, that felt way better than rage quitting and installing the game without doing anything meaningful. It made me reflect on something I have always wondered about. Something important. Order. Sometimes, as a human, we accept or reject things not based on fact or logic, but simply because of the order in which we experience them. We love or hate, believe or dismiss, just because a new idea contradicts what we learned first. And instead of reflecting, we stop blindly holds on, ignoring anything that doesn't match the version of truth we heard first. I know the trap well, and I have always tried to avoid falling into it. But this game, it almost became a victim of that exact bias in my mind. I just did early. I thought it was clunky, unreadable, maybe even lazy. But I pushed myself to try something new, to lab, to test, to learn. And once I did, I started to see why people enjoy games like this. If Fatal Fury was like learning a different accent in fighting game compared to Guilty Gear Strive, then Nen Impact is like learning an entirely new language. It doesn't play the same, think the same, or even feel the same. There was only one thing left I hadn't tried: playing against a real person. Then, out of nowhere, my little cousin came to visit. He never played a fighting game in his life, so I figured, why not? Let's test it out. We started playing, and he began mashing buttons like crazy. No combos, no game sense, just raw chaos. And he beat me. I was getting so frustrated, not because I lost, but because the match felt so mindless. How could random button presses lead to a win? I was trying to understand spacing, frame data, character tools. Meanwhile, this game threw 3 characters on the screen at once, with unclear hitboxes, messy animation, and input that felt unpredictable. My brain kept telling me, this game isn't for you. This game is bad. But then I looked at my cousin. He was smiling, laughing. He had no clue what a throw was or attack even. He didn't know how to block. And he was having the time of his life. That's when it hit me. Something I always forgot. Not everything has to be perfectly balanced or deeply competitive. Sometimes a game is just about having fun, about relaxing, about laughing, even if you don't understand every mechanics. And that's when I finally found the answer I had been ignoring this whole time. Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact is a video game. A console fighting game even. But at the end of the day, it is a game. And maybe that's enough.